Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Amen to that, brother. Amen. Look at this crazy guy in the van right here. Whoa. He did like 60 miles an hour to get up there and squeeze in there. Yep. Look at the guy up there in the white car trying to squeeze above in front of the red truck. Look. He's not from here. He was behind the red truck and he got out and saw it turns into one lane and then tried to go fast. The guy behind me just tried to squeeze around me. Huh. Wow. I say if you have to be one car length ahead of where you are right now, just one car length, you have a really crappy life. If you think your life's going to get better if you just get just in front of one more car, oh man, amen, hallelujah, more power to you. But every time you do that, you take about 3 minutes of your life away from stress. Stress will take 3 minutes of your life away. That's what they say. Every time you smoke a cigarette, you lose 3 minutes of your life. Every time you try drugs, you lose about a week of your life in the long run. They say every time you drink alcohol, you lose a day of your life in the long run. Well, the truth is, you get so stressed out, you're shortening your life in the long run. It's a catch-22 in America. You're going as fast as you can to get to 65 years old so you can retire and relax. And when you get to 65 years old, you're so stressed out. You had all the alcohol, all the cigarettes, all the prescription drugs, no sleep, all the TV, all the internet, and now you only have 2 or 3 years left to live. All that work, 50 years on the working treadmill. Now, it might be worth it if you could extend your own life, say, 20, 30 years. But only God has the ability to do that. All the technology in the world cannot keep people alive longer. So that's what I'm saying. It's not worth it. It's not worth the amount of stress and work and anxiety and paying off the house just to have a big, huge, fat bank account. But that's the problem also, catch-22. 60% of Americans now don't have a fat bank account when they retire. They have almost nothing. 60% of Americans have very little. So what was the benefits of working so hard for 50 years? If you don't even get the toys at the end. Do you see that classic car go by? I see a lot of elderly people now, baby boomers, selling their classic cars at record pace. And nobody's buying them. The younger generation doesn't want the classic cars. So they're literally all over Craigslist. Any city you go to, all these classic cars are only selling for about 50% of what they're worth. Because other baby boomers don't want them. They're trying to sell their classic cars also. Anybody under 45 years old doesn't want a $50,000 classic car in their driveway. Or they can't afford one. I mean, they'd probably take one if, let's say your dad died or your uncle and left it to you for free. You might drive it around for a couple years and then try to sell it and get some cash to pay off your credit cards or something. Nobody wants the classic cars anymore. And all the 65 and 75-year-old guys are trying to... I went to that car show, the last 2 car shows I went to, in Newport and down in Winchester Bay. 4 sale signs on a lot of those classic cars, and nobody was making an offer. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was even saying, hey, how much you want for this? So why are you running 100 miles an hour for 50 years to end up with nothing at the end. I'm sure you ask yourself these things all the time, but asking doesn't do anything. You have to take action, and you have to become debt-free, save 30% of your income, get a less stressful job, pay off your house and everything, sell your house, throw your TV in the garbage, and start following Jesus Christ, or you're not going to have anything ever. And of course, if you don't follow Jesus, you won't have anything in eternity. But this isn't, what I'm talking about is an old message. The things I'm talking about, people don't want to hear. They're done. They don't want to hear them no more. They just want to wake up in the morning with their avocado toast. They even think honey is evil now. See those two trucks that just went by? They were racing each other. Yeah, they were doing at least 75 miles an hour up that hill. Putting everybody's life in danger just to prove they're, 10 miles an hour faster than the guy next to them. Sounds like a confidence problem to me. Low levels of confidence about your life. If you get your cheap jollies by tailgating people, screaming at people, and outrunning someone, you're basically going nowhere in life. Yeah, this is an old message. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, but only about 5% of people now are doing something about it. And about 95% are just repeat the same old stupidity. And you receive exactly the same stupid things you always receive. You never get ahead. You go from point A to nowhere. You go from point B to nowhere. You're supposed to be going from point A to point B and accomplishing something. But that's not what's happening anymore in the world. And now an average house is $450,000. An average car is $45,000 to $60,000. An average truck is $50,000 to $75,000. And they're telling us it's not going to stop. It's going to continue to get worse over the next 5 and 10 years. Because they know 95% of people will just continue to follow the same old system, and you won't do anything about it.